right, you guys know what time it is, baby. I'm pumped up for tonight's show. This is one of my very own. This is a go-getter. We're going to get a chance to talk to him, find out about his special story, you guys, and take this thing to the top. But of course, I'm always going to bring my boy from St. Louis that's always holding me down. What's up going on, Guru?
Man, I'm chilling, man. We gonna have a good show, man. We got a dog on the show. It's gonna be a good one, man. Y'all listen in, definitely.
Yes, indeed. I am excited, you guys. And speaking of a dog, you guys already have seen who is on the show with us. This is somebody that is a busy man. He's a busy man. He's got big expectations for himself. Other people got big expectations for him, as you see here. Preseason All-ACC pick. He's done it from the bottom up, you guys. Manteca, all the way to Junior College, then to UNLV, you guys, and then now he's back home and he's playing for the Cal Bears. They're getting ready for a big season. This young man, I've known since he was in high school, I think a sophomore in high school, and extremely excited to talk to Jacob De Jesus. What's going on, superstar?
Man, what up, coach? Man, I'm excited to be here. I just seen that last picture you just put up there. That was my right there. That was my first time coming to Cal, man, seeing a Cal football game for the first time, and ever since then I wanted to be a Bear, man. That's crazy.
That was an omen, man. You never know. You never know what a couple tickets could lead to for you young athletes out there. So let's get into it, man. I mean, amazing career thus far. I mean, ever since I've seen you, it's always looked the same, man. Whether it was Manteca, whether it was Modesto, UNLV, you've balled out. So nobody is expecting any different at Cal. But I wanted to ask you, because sometimes, Jay, you know, they say if it's not broke, don't fix it. You know, if things are working, if you're hitting the slot machine, stay right where you're at. And you decided you got an extra year because of the JC rule, and you decided to pack up from UNLV and go to Cal. What was the hardest part of that decision, and what was the easiest part of that decision?
Well, man, the hardest part of that decision had to be, leaving the school that recruited me and trusted in me. I've been there for 2 years. I loved UNLV, man. That was my only offer coming out of junior college. And, I just had a great time there. I loved all my coaches there, all the coaching staff, all my teammates there. The hardest thing was just having to, say goodbye to them and say goodbye to that school. Me and my family, we had a comfortable life there. My daughter went to preschool there. My soon-to-be wife worked there, and it was just hard to leave that situation. What made it easier is that my, coaching staff that was there ended up leaving and going to Purdue. And so even that was hard. When I went on a visit over there to Purdue, and I had to tell them, Cal was a better fit for me and stuff like that. So that was probably the hardest part. But the best part was, being able to come home. I live an hour away from Cal, man. Coming to Cal is super awesome, man. Just go back to that picture. Terrence Wood, man, brought me to Cal on a visit over there and to a game. And I've always wanted to be a Bear. My dad's from out there in the Bay Area, from Hayward, California, which is about 20 minutes from Berkeley. And just being able to come home, be able to support my family, and also showcase my talents on a bigger level. Playing in the ACC now, Power 4, I get to really show, scouts at the next level that I could play at this level.
So that was conscious on your mind. You felt like you needed to step it up a level too.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. And then we see baby girl. I know. Hey, sweetheart. We know that she's going to be on TV. And she's already been on TV, as we see here. And she has been a superstar of the show, and she loves that. And he's fighting for her. So we're glad to have you on too, sweetie. So let's get on to our next topic, man. And that was big. I know that wasn't an easy decision for you. I know that coming home helps. I know a couple dollars in your pocket help, but I know that there was some adjustments. So we appreciate you sharing that, man. Talk to me about the aha moment And what I mean by that, man, is like, you weren't a 4 or 5-star recruit. You had to bang away at this thing. You had to chip away at this thing. Many people would have gave it up, maybe, especially once you had your daughter. Many people would have said, forget it. But you've always believed in yourself, man. And then you got to UNLV and you became an All-American. But for the people that are listening, what was the aha moment for you, Jacob? When did you really believe that you could be a baller at the D1 level? Was it practice? Was it in a game? When did that light bulb come on?
I always felt like I could play at the level. You know what I mean? Ever since I was young, I felt like, I shined in Pop Warner in high school, and even at the JUCO level, I always felt like, man, I feel like I'm good enough. But I did have some doubt, like I'm like, maybe I'm not good enough. You know what I mean? Maybe coaches aren't, recruiting me for a reason. But it really came down when, like, my first spring ball at UNLV when I got recruited, and I just had a great spring. That first practice, those first couple practices, just playing and balling out. I was like, man, like I really belonged here. Like I knew all along, you know what I mean? And just that's really not really found out. Like, man, like I was, I could play at this level and be a part of it. You know what I mean? And so that was probably my moment is practice when I first got to UNLV because, like I said, I always felt like I felt like I could, but I didn't really quite know. Did have some doubts, but once I got on that field and just realized, man, football is football, man. At whatever level it is, and so, yeah, that's when I really found out.
You talk to me, man. Everybody has that moment. You were a baller in St. Louis, but then you got to prove it at KU in the Big 12. When was that light bulb moment when you're like, I can do this. I got this?
Man, the reason I knew that even from a high school standpoint is because of who we were training with in the summers. Like, man, the Terrell Fletchers and guys like that, man, that, were like, in the league doing damage. You know what I'm saying? So, like training with them in the summers, man, and having them as a resource, to ask questions at any given time, man, it's like, by the time you get to college, it is no surprise whatsoever.
Okay, so what you're saying is you were grinding with guys who had it back in the day.
Oh, absolutely.
You could trust, and that helped you trust it.
Oh, absolutely, for sure. That's why you often enough, like I was saying, last show, man, like especially in regards to particular programs. Like powerhouse programs because you cranking out dogs, then they come back. Then you see what I'm saying? So you keep having guys coming back. Like, I remember even, and it's like that in college going to the league. Like, my good friend Reggie Germany, and he was starting a receiver, at Ohio State, but he's training with Joey Galloway and Terry Glenn all summer. You don't have a choice but to get better. Which you know what I'm saying? Like you training with like this pure dogs. You train with mutants every day, right? So you're gonna get better.
100%. So was that the same for you? Did you ever go against guys in training and feel like, hey, I'm doing this guy, so I must be who I think I am?
Yeah, not really so much in training. I didn't really get a chance to train with other guys that were playing at other places. But like playing, in junior college, these guys would already have offers to other schools, but they just didn't have their grades right, so they got to play here in junior college. And I, be rounding them up, having big games on them and stuff like that, and just so seeing that, like I was like, man, I know I could play at the next level. This guy has freaking, Power 5 offers, and I'm able to do whatever.
There you go. So you guys trust it. You young athletes out there, get around the best and trust it. We see the great Devin coming in. He's saying, aloha, coaches. We love you, Devin. And then, of course, always holding us down, the great Jimmy Rucker. Some saying, thank you for the transfer report. Yes, indeed. We're going to get into that here shortly. So speaking of, the best for athletes, you came in, you came through your career at a great time. at a great time. Obviously, you spent a couple years in junior college ball. You got at least one of those years. Do you get 1 or 2 years back?
Just one. So I think right
Okay.
now the rule is all they said was just if you were a senior last year and you played junior college, we're gonna give you one more extra year. I don't know why. And then what I think is gonna be happening, I don't know if it's gonna happen next year or within a couple years. I think they're gonna say that junior college has no like it's not taking away
Eligibility.
any eligibility. Yeah.
Yeah,
So like you
yeah.
could do 2 years of junior college and come in the incoming freshman at the at the D1 level, and so I don't think that has came through yet, but I think like within the next that's going to be a thing coming up within the next couple of years. So
Yeah, so I mean, really, there was 3 things that fell right in your lap. The
mhm.
NIL fell in your
Yep.
lap, where now you can get money. You
Mhm.
also had the transfer portal, where I can go from UNLV to a Purdue or Cal, and then you've got the JC rule, where you got an
Mhm.
extra year eligibility because you would have been done at UNLV. So when you
Mhm.
think about all of these different rules kind of coming together to form the perfect moment for you, which one do you think is the biggest in your corner? How would you rank the portal, NIL, and the JC rule?
That's a tough question because I've benefited from all three of them. If I had to rank them, I would just say first of all, I'm a fan of the JC rule because it helped me out. I was able to come back for another year, and I really feel like that really helps a lot because each year you get to come back and play college football, the game gets slower and slower. You start, what I mean, picking up
Yeah.
more and more. I just feel like I'm more experienced. Now I'm the older guy on the block. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so. Uh, I'm really, grateful for that rule. And then the last two is hard because I at first I kind of disagreed with them, the transfer portal and the NIL thing. I thought, college kids shouldn't be getting paid. I mean, maybe it's because I'm a JUCO guy. I'm like, man, I'm just blessed to have a full ride scholarship, man, and be able
Grateful.
to play football, man, like that. The pros, that's where you get paid. But I benefited from both NIL and the transfer portal from this past season, so. They both work really well. It gives kids a chance to get paid at this level, some really good money that's, able to help out their families and stuff. And the transfer portal is good, because if you're not, in the right situation or, if you feel like you could play at a bigger level or, if you're a quarterback and they already have a significant starter, it's not always bad, but I did have, like kind of my opinions on it. I feel like sometimes it kind of gives people a way out. It doesn't really show them that they can fight through adversity. I think people before entering the transfer portal should know that the grass isn't always greener on the other side. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
should really, evaluate their situation. And if you are going to enter the transfer portal, make sure you're going to a school for the right reasons. Making sure that you're going to get your education, and make sure that you're going to fit in the scheme of the offense, and not just going to the school because it's the biggest school. You know what I mean? And you really got to know, the coaches and, just where you fit in their game plan. And so, but if I had to rank it, I guess I would say the JUCO rule, the NIL, and then the transfer portal last.
All right, you guys. So, hey, special times in college football, and this man deserves to be compensated by all 3 of these rules, but he's taking full advantage. Q, talk to me when you sit back as an OG, because we didn't get none of these. We didn't get the JC,
Nah,
we didn't
hell.
get the NIL, and we didn't get
Not
the portal.
not
When you sit back and look at the 3, man, how would you rank these as greatest benefit to the athlete?
how would I
Did you cut
rank?
out? You had cut out a little bit. What finish that
I
last
You
part?
said
said
how would
how
I rank them?
as greatest benefit to the athletes.
I would by far say, man, NIL at the top of the list for sure. I would say NIL and then the transfer portal and then what was the last one, T?
The JC rule.
And then I would say the JC rule. NIL for sure, because I mean, man, when you look back at it was, I mean, it's just I agree with Jacob, man. It's great to get, especially on a Division 1 level, and a Division 1 offer, ability to obtain a scholarship. But when you look back at how much these freaking schools are making off of these kids, all those decades after decade after decade, it was absolutely insane. We're talking 10, $12 million per bowl. How many bowls we talking about? Rose Bowl, Orange Bowl, Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Like, this dollars and dollars and dollars. So NIL to me, man, at this point ranks above all simply because of what the universities are making. They're making money not just off of the bowl games and regular season in regards to TV coverage, but also when you have those when you're a school like that, like a Cal or a Kansas or Colorado, it ups your student body for regular students that want to go there. That's more money, right? Yeah. So yeah, man, like, now let these kids, NIL rank supreme above them all, man. Let these kids get their bag.
All right, you guys, well, right there,
and we want our back pay, damn it.
And we don't know. Some of these rules may change a little bit. You might see portal change a little bit. You may see the JC thing, hopefully in favor of the athletes, like Jacob said. But these are all right now. These athletes can take full advantage of this stuff right now, and I'm glad that Jacob was able to do so. I really wanted to get into this next topic, Jay, and if you're joining us for the first time, I'm Coach Wood. You got the guru and the great Jacob De Jesus with us tonight, superstar at UNLV, All-American, and then you guys now at his hometown Cal Bears, and about to have a great season. They go to camp in about a week and a half. But I wanted to talk to you about this one, Jay, because you got a few things on your plate, man. You got baby girl in the background. You're about to get married. You've got a couple of dollars in your pocket because the Cal Bears want you to do big things for them. You're still a young man. How do you calm the noise? How do you balance expectations?
I would say how I balance expectations, man, would just really be having a routine every day. You know what I mean? Okay. Doing the same things that you normally do. Having a set time that you wake up. How you're gonna do things when you get to the facility. You warm up. And then after your workout and everything like that, what you're gonna eat, and then what are the extra work that you're gonna do. Just having everything pre-planned out, and just really having a routine every day that helps you balance all the noise and everything like that. And as far as blocking out the noise, man, you just gotta believe in yourself and trust in God, man. You're at this you're at this place for a reason. You're at this level for a reason, and that's something I just try to remember all the time, and just stay close to God. That's all I really have to say.
When you get a little stressed out or maybe have a bad game, what's the routine for that?
Just being around family, understanding, being with my girl, my daughter, my mom, being around my family. They're the ones that help you understand that, football at the end of the day, even though it is my job and I do get paid for it, it is just a game. And you got to remember that this was your dream as a little kid, but it doesn't define who you are. Football doesn't define me. You know what I mean? It's something that I love to do because, ever since I was young, I was good at it and I just love doing it, but it doesn't define who I am. I remember that I'm a dad outside of football. I'm a husband outside of football. I'm a great son outside of football. I'm a great friend outside of football. Just, remembering that stuff, that, football is my whole life, but it's not who I am. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's big right there. Can you talk to me about a parent standpoint? I got a young man, maybe he's about to go to Ohio State and play quarterback. He's about to go to Texas and play wide receiver. They're expecting a lot out of him. How do I manage as a parent if I need to pump him up or deflate him a little bit because he thinks he's too good?
I wouldn't say you really need to pump him up. Hell, if you go into a school like that, you already on the map. They already a lot. Everybody already knows who you are from jump anyway. It is like I said, man. It's gonna be as a parent. Is it staying in contact with the kid? I mean, it at some point it's gonna always say as a parent. you have to eventually let go, but it's like you get to kind of sit back and see, okay, has this kid retained what I've placed in him or her all of these years, right? Humility, work ethic, things of that nature. You put it into them, so that'll carry forward, and carry them through school.
So as a parent, you go to the game or maybe you watch it on TV and you don't think that the interview was up to par, the interview had enough humility to it. Are you tapping your son on the shoulder?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. For sure. I wouldn't say there's never a time, especially, like, again, you're a Power 5 school, you starting or whatnot, things of that nature. I think, man, most kids, not every, but most kids, at some point have to maybe get, brought down to earth just a little bit. Hopefully that's minimal times, but yeah, absolutely. Now you tap the kid on the shoulder, like, hey, is there a reason you answered that particular question or those series of questions how you did? Might not want to say this, maybe looking at answering it like this or what. But again, too, not just as a parent, that goes back to resources too. If you have OGs or whatnot that maybe came out of the program before you, that you can tap into too, that can coach you up as well.
Jacob, after a bad game, you want to be left alone, or is it okay for your wife to rub you on the back and ask you if you're okay?
That's funny, man, because I feel like I say I want to be left alone. You know what I mean? Like, don't talk to me. Don't, you know what I mean? But she always finds a way, to make me feel better. You know what I'm saying? And make me understand that it's okay. You know what I mean? And bad games happen sometimes, and a lot of times maybe it's not your fault. It's just the game plan wasn't towards your way, or maybe you made a mistake, or you had to play. And yeah, I do get frustrated. I don't want to be by anybody, but it's always good to have somebody there that knows you beyond just football. You know what I mean? Just someone that you could talk to, like a parent, or a spouse. You know what I mean? Somebody that
you can trust.
Yeah, exactly.
No, that's big, man. And it's beautiful you found that before things started rolling for you. I mean, I know they've been rolling since high school, but you were doubted too, and she was there, man. So that's good. On to our next topic right here. And this one's an interesting one because this gentleman is considered the best of all time by many to do it. And right now he's on the sideline, Q. So I want to ask you, man, do you think that Saban continues to fish and kick his feet up, or do you think that we'll see Mr. Nick Saban back on the sideline? What percentage would you give?
I think he'll be back. Okay. I don't watch much TV, right? But I've always been a movie guy, and I like movies because if you take parts out of movies, it relates to real life, right? Any movie, if you really pay attention, you can always have some type of takeaway that pertains to real life. So one of my favorite movies is Rocky IV. Old movie, but I just love the movie. It's like the ultimate God movie, right? But it's this part that's relevant about what we're talking about. And Apollo Creed was going back and forth with Rocky about should he fight Drago, right? And Rocky's like, hey, man, we're old now. We're getting up there. It's over. And Apollo Creed, he turns to Rocky. If you look it up, you go to YouTube, you got to pull this up. After the show, later on night, you got to pull it up. And he says, Stallion, we warriors. And if a warrior doesn't have a war to fight, then the warrior might as well be dead, Stallion. What that means is Nick Saban is that same warrior. If there's no war to fight, he might as well be dead. So he has to come back because he doesn't know what to do with himself. That is what he is. That is what he does. He doesn't fish. He doesn't vacation all year round. He's one of the best coaches of all time, and he's going to come back for that reason. He don't have a choice. That's who he is. That's who he is.
All right, so the guru's usually right, and in his crystal ball, he says you will see Saban back on a college side. College or pros?
Oh, college. And I do you one better. If it's Florida State, I promise you, if it's Florida State, you will see that program back at Bobby Bowden era level ball. Not what we didn't see in the last couple of years. I'm talking that Charlie Ward type, that type of ball, right? The expectation of what the Florida State is, we all know it. Ward Dunn and Derek Brooks type Florida State ball.
Okay, so you got what the guru is thinking. He's saying not only is he coming back, but Guru goes a step further and says he's going to Florida, you guys. I've heard a little Florida, I've heard a little Oklahoma, which would be crazy too. But let's throw it to the young playmaker. I mean, this is considered the coach of your generation for sure. Do you think that he chances messing up his legacy and comes back, or do you think he stays in the media booth?
Yeah, that's a hard one. I think I seen it on social media or something like that, maybe in the comments, saying that, Nick Saban really left college football when the NIL thing came out. And so, I don't know if he's a big fan of the NIL thing. I mean, it really changes college football and the recruiting part of it. I don't know if he wants to be a part of that. But I mean, if there's rumors circling around that he might come back, it's just like Coach said, it's what he does, but he might be just enjoying, life right now, not being a coach. I know he has a lot more free time on his hands and stuff like that. And, why would you want to, mess up that that legacy? You know what I mean? He's the GOAT in my opinion, as far as college football, and maybe even, NFL combined. But there are a lot of people starting to come back, like some NFL coaches coming back to college, like Bill Belichick, and Ron Rivera is over here on our side. He's our GM now, and so a lot of people are coming back to college football, and so he might want a piece of that too. So I could definitely see him coming back, but I don't know, maybe he might want to enjoy his retirement.
Well, see, here's the thing though. It's people that are great, they're always pushing the limits. And even when they get up in age, they still constantly, that's one thing that makes you great in life, no matter what you do. Football or not, pick your industry. It's about constantly pushing the envelope. How can I make myself better? What's the next challenge, right? So he's like, well, shit, I did it with LSU. Then I come back and I do it with Alabama. Damn, can I do it again at a totally different school? Can I do it again? Can I do it again? That it's the next.
But then that's really like you're a crack fiend, because he's already proven everything he needs to. It's almost like you've set the bar so high that what else can you do?
True. But think about it too, and you see it more in this sport. But that's
he
why
can come back and get blasted.
No, that's true too. But that's the challenge. That when you're that type of person, that's the challenge. That's why you see these old boxers and they can't stop fighting. That's who they are. Roy Jones and Floyd, they gotta get back in the ring in some facet and throw hands some kind of way, because they fighters. It doesn't. That's why I was saying. Well, Apollo was telling Rocky there is no on and off switch. It's just on. It's got to be some type of next challenge.
That's
there's probably only about 3 teams that could hold a Nick Saban. Programs from a media standpoint, a blue blood standpoint. It's probably about 3 or 4 teams that could hold a Nick Saban coming back in that circus. So that's good right there. And the great Jimmy is saying Oklahoma would be nasty. Oklahoma at Alabama. Yep. Yes, indeed. That's an SEC matchup right now. And then he said the Florida State, North Carolina would be a good one too with Belichick. That would be that. College football needs that. College football needs that. So that would be so we are on to our next topic, you guys. And obviously we love this topic with the lightning round coming up. And we've had Jacob on the show before, so he's got a little bit of head start. Cat's already fast. He may be already faster with this head start here. Is ready to go, you guys. And he has 60 seconds to give us what's on the top of his mind as I go through my list. It's a nice little list here. I know he's probably hungry. So if you get to 15 or higher, It's a dinner on the locker room show for you,
Okay.
Mimi, your wife. You guys go out there and do your thing, Walnut Creek style. So I got him. Let's get it started. You guys will get him to 0 here. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah.
All right. Now we'll
It's
give
one
him
word
one
answers, right?
One word answer. If you want to fly and have a chance to win, one word answers. Don't go further than that. People try to elaborate and it goes long. So right here, we got him at zeros. This is like a 4-3 cat we dealing with. So you already know that he's ready to roll. So, all right. First thing that comes to Jacob De Jesus' mind. All right, superstar number one. Modesto JC, go.
Old school.
Coach Brennan Marion.
Legend.
Churros or donuts?
Donuts.
Justin Wilcox.
Great head coach.
Best you've ever played against?
Oregon State.
Best player.
Oh, best player? I would say Blake Corum.
Target or Walmart?
Target.
Favorite NFL team growing up?
Raiders.
Ricky White.
Great, phenomenal.
Trip to Bahamas or Hawaii?
Hawaii.
CeeDee Lamb or Mike Evans? 10 seconds.
CeeDee Lamb.
Favorite ice cream?
Mint chip.
Hang glide or scuba dive?
Scuba dive.
Italian food or Chinese?
Italian.
Gino Campiati. Time.
That best you ever played against is tough. That's always a tough question.
That was a tough one. That was
a
tough
question. I heard. I think you cut out a little bit. Best you ever played against. That's all I heard.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
What.
That's always a tough question.
Yeah.
All right. We'll go. We'll give you one for the road. Gino Campiati, your old teammate.
Man, love that guy, man. Great quarterback. Great athlete. Yeah, that's all I can say. Great athlete.
All right, so let's add them up, you guys, and we gave him a second more because we broke up there, but let's add him up and see where he's got. This is the lightning round. He needs 15. He has one with Tech to left. So, number one, Modesto JC, that's his old junior college. He says old school. Number two, Coach Brennan Marion. This was his UNLV OC, who's at Sac State now. Loves Jacob. He says legend. Number three, churros or donuts. He's going with the donuts. Number four, Justin Wilcox, his new coach. He says great coach. Number five, best you've ever played against. He says Blake Corum. Number six, Target or Walmart. He says give me the Target. Number seven, favorite NFL team growing up. He says the Raiders. Knew that was coming. Number eight, Ricky White, the wide receiver that got picked up from UNLV, he says phenomenal. Number 9, trip to Bahamas or Hawaii. He says, give me the Hawaii. Number 10, CeeDee Lamb or Mike Evans. He says, give me CD. Number 11, favorite ice cream. He says, give me the mint chip. Number 12, scuba dive or hang glide. He says, I'm going deep sea. Give me the scuba dive. Number 13, Italian food or Chinese food. He says, give me the Italian food. And with number 14, which would tie him, with the great Evan Brennan, Gino Campiati, he says, great athlete. So we will put him in the mix, good people, as long as the 15 holds for the dinner with the great Evan Brennan. And we only got 2 more weeks, or no, about 4 more weeks until the season starts.
Yeah.
So we're picking a new winner for the dinner when the season starts. It may be the great Jacob De Jesus. So appreciate you having fun with us there, man. We are on to our last section of the show, baby, the Q&A section. If you have something in your live that you want to ask the great Jacob De Jesus, All-American, go ahead, feel free to ask. But Q, I know you got something for the superstar.
Definitely. And this is a good one, man. This is a good one. Jacob, what would you have to say while we're live on the air to guys out there that, as far as they would be viewed scouting wise, or this phenomenal, explosive, this great ball players, but undersized, or what they would consider undersized? What would you say to them?
I would say, man, just block out all that noise, man. Just keep grinding, and know that you got to work harder than everybody. You know, I've seen it multiple times. People just get offered just based off size, man. But I promise you, if you work harder than them and you get your one opportunity, you're gonna see that at the next level. Like, they don't care about size as far as, if you could play, you could play. You're gonna be on. They're gonna put the best players on the field. It ain't like, you know what I mean. They're just gonna put somebody there because he's the biggest. He's the biggest player on the field. No.
Yeah.
If he's trash, he's gonna be sitting out on the sideline, man. You got to work harder than everybody else because you're already doubted because of your size, man. But once you get to that level that you're trying to be at and you could play, they're gonna put you on the field. Look at Tank Dell. You know what I mean? Somebody that was super
absolutely.
small, really ridiculed because of his smaller frame. And then he got to the league, was killing it, man. And so he's respected in the NFL. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, for sure.
All that stuff does not matter as far as, height and stature, man. But just know that you're gonna have to work, twice as hard as everybody else. But once you get your shot, man, you're gonna, just play.
Yeah. No, and I agree. I mean, we watched Darren kill boys for damn forever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Darren used to kill cats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I definitely had to ask you that, man, because I know scouting was, I guess, because my good friend, man, is an agent or whatnot. Just been in the industry obviously for so long. Talked to a lot of scouts, man, and I hate hearing that. I've never liked it where, whether it's high school to college or even college to the league, they just go off of like this size and physical intangibles and not just look at pure ability. And I hate that, dude. I freaking hate it because that's what you have to go off of, man. We've seen plenty of 6'4" receivers that can't catch a cold, right? So it's about, man, who can get open, who doesn't have drops, and who can put numbers on the scoreboard. Right. So, man, yeah, bro, I had to ask you that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, appreciate that.
Yep.
Let me ask you this before we let you go, Jay, and appreciate the time. But what's your goals? What's your personal goals for this season? Have you set goals already?
Yes, definitely. My personal goals for this season is to definitely be an All-ACC returner and receiver. And I want to have a 1,000-yard receiving season, and I think I could definitely do that with this Cal offense. And that would be my two goals. And then lastly, man, big goal of mine, a dream is to get drafted into NFL. So I would say those are my three goals. Yeah.
That's big, man, and I know that I know you have big expectations for yourself that supersede what everybody else is even thinking. You've been a Lion from day one, man, since I met you, and every time you surpass what everybody is thinking, and I know it's going to be the same up at Cal too. So looking forward to seeing you this fall up on Strawberry Canyon, man.
Appreciate that, Coach, and thank you for having me.
Definitely.
Yes, indeed. So, hey, you guys, that is the great Jacob DeSuze, superstar. Like I said, Q, he's been doing it, man. But to your point, sometimes you always got to have a little chip on your shoulder because nobody wants to give you your credit.
Yeah, man. That's why I had to ask that because, again, we seen that man constantly, man, where it's like, well, he's undersized, this and that. And it's like, man, can you play or not? Right. And the thing is, T, I asked that too, because let's be real. We see that especially coming out of high school with kids being ranked 3, 4, 5, especially the 4 and 5 star kids. And it's like you look at them and half of them shouldn't be 4 or 5 star. They're 4 or 5 stars simply because, he's 6'5" or he's 6'4", whatever. And they look at potential and physical intangibles and not ability. And I hate that, dude. Like, if a kid isn't all that, I don't care if he's 6'4". Maybe he shouldn't even be any stars, or maybe he should be a 2-star. But just because he's a particular size at a position, don't give him a 4 or 5-star ranking. And that's constant, man, constant. And that's why you see a lot of kids, and they get the college, and they're a bust. Yeah, they'll get the Michigan, they'll get the Ohio State, or they'll get the Texas, but they're a bust because you have the size, but you don't have any overwhelming ability, and you don't have any heart.
This is what I would tell you young athletes that are undersized out there, because a lot of time, Q's not the biggest guy in the world. I'm not the biggest guy in the world. And a lot of times we have in our mind, we got to get bigger. We got to get bigger. And you're pumping weights and trying to get bigger. They're not bringing you there because you're the biggest guy in the world. Cal did not bring Jacob there for his strength, his muscle, and his size. They bought him there because he's a freaky athlete and he's going to make you look stupid in space.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
So all of if you are an athlete on the offense or defensive side of the ball, you happen to be undersized, work on the attributes that will help you separate at your size. You know, he's not going to spend a bunch of time in the weight room. He's going to have some functional strength where he can get off of a DB, but he's going to focus on where his money is at. And his money is in them feet, them hips.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So that's a great point.
No, and it's funny too, because you know what I mean, man, even myself, you know, at 5'9", and I always used to get interviews. Granted, I had a pretty damn good, vertical. But the point was I neutralized bigger receivers because I watched film and because of my technique, right? So I'll give you guys an example for any of you young DBs out there, especially that play corner. Not so much my safeties, but my corners, right? You know, maybe you're not a 6'1", 6'2" corner. Okay, fine, right? But you're a dog. You already know if I'm lining up on a 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" receiver, what is he looking to do? He's looking to go up top. We shutting down the fade and you shutting down the post because those are the two easiest deep routes for a tall cat to run. What you want him to do, because you have a lower center of gravity, you want him to break the route off. So that means slants, hitches, quick outs, things of that nature, digs, where he has to break down. It takes a minute for them long legs to break down. The only tall receiver I've ever seen to come in and out of breaks like a 5'9", 5'10" cat is Julio Jones. And Megatron kind of, but he mainly ran deep routes too. So again, it's the IQ and the technique and the film, and you neutralize dudes bigger than you with that alone, on top of your ability, right?
Great
so
point.
Those are things, man. I'm telling you. I remember one time I had an interview. I forgot what we were playing, and this is when Pam Oliver was young, and she was asking me that, a question in that realm, and I asked her back, well, have you ever seen a mongoose take down a king cobra? Watch that. YouTube it. A mongoose is mongooses are notorious for killing king cobras that are 3 or 4 times their size. Why? With speed, agility, and technique. You can take down it's every time.
Interesting. So yeah, you guys, I mean, some of you guys are undersized out there, and you're going to always have a chip on your shoulder because they're going to try to get you at the discount price. But that doesn't mean that you can't get yours once you get on the field with whoever that they're obsessing over. So keep that in mind, because Jacob has made people pay time after time. And check him out this fall at Cal. He's going to be doing big things in the ACC, you guys, and we can't wait to see it. So, hey, that is it for today's show. We've got an amazing guest next week. We're getting closer to the season, but our season doesn't stop, and we're going to keep bringing you guys great guests. So make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. Help us build this football community on YouTube, and make sure that you bring a friend next Thursday, because we got a college football, Power 4 college football coach coming on next week. So for the Guru, I'm Coach Wood, the Locker Room Show. We'll see you at the top, baby. Have a good one.